Hari Om. 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 Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sah Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Ramo Rajamani Sada Vijayate Ramam Ramesham Bhaje Ramena Bihata Nishacharachamu Ramaya Tasmai Namaha. Ramannasti Parayanam Parataram Ramasya Dasosmyaham. रामे चित्तलयः सदा भवतु मे भो राम मामुद्धर समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरवे नमः। 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 One way of studying Bhashya is Abhyasa. Abhyasa means repeatedly going back to the ideas which you have covered so that most of them come back to us. At the same time, we don't get intimidated by Bhashya. Once you see the in-depth meaning, we can always go back and summarize it over and over again. That is one style of studying which is very effective, called as Abhyasa. Abhyasa means repetition. So Sambandha Bhashya, the main points were, in the beginning was the importance of Brahma Vidya Stuti. Why this Upanishad begins with praising this lineage of teacher and student, such that indirectly it is praising Brahma Vidya. Out of all the teachers mentioned in the first mantra of Mundaka, the one we are familiar with is Brahma Ji. We probably don't know the other names, who was Satyavaha, who was Bharadwaja, Angira. Angiras also we don't know. But Brahma Ji we know. So the main idea there is, the one who was the creator of this universe, before he started creation, he also needed this knowledge. That is the greatness, that is the depth of Brahma Vidya. After that came the topic of Anubandha Chatushtaya, the fourfold topics which will bind us to this text. If I am looking for Atyantika Dukkha Nivrutti, I am looking for absolute cessation of sorrow. And I have tried seeking for this through situations. a person has tried seeking for absolute cessation of sorrow by doing something in paristhiti, and he has realized the limitation of paristhiti to remain the same, to give his ishta, whatever he wants, to give whatever he is looking for, is his situation is not capable. Then he comes to Vedanta, which tells him that if one is able to abide in this self, in that blissful self, there is no sorrow. So self-abidance is his goal. What will lead him there is a study of Upanishad. So then he starts developing Sambandha with Upanishad because it is going to give him what he really wants. Prayojana and Sambandha, we have to constantly keep reflecting. Otherwise, this question always remains, if I want happiness, why should I study Vedanta? That connection between our final goal of absolute happiness and the study of Upanishad mantras, that Sambandha and Prayojanam has to be constantly reiterated. Then came the topic of Adhikari and Vishaya by introducing Paravidya and Aparavidya. Paravidya is that which reveals nature of the self. Aparavidya is knowledge of this world, knowledge of material things. The main difference between both of them is only Paravidya is capable of removing samsara. Aparavidya, no matter how much we get in this world, it will not remove our samsara. What does it mean? Paravidya removes samsara. Paravidya removes this notion of I am this finite being, I am this ahankara. That finitude itself is responsible for samsara. In Vedanta, when we say we should come out of samsara, so we have to appreciate what is the Vedantic definition of samsara also. Samsara is not only some person, some object, some situation. Samsara is this notion that I am an experiencer. I am a doer. Kartrutva and bhoktrutva is samsara. This point we were seeing in Shreya and Preya also in Kathopanishad. Sometimes the traditional meaning is not very well understood. What is the traditional meaning of Shreya and Preya? Whatever keeps me finite, whatever keeps this notion of doership, enjoyership, that is called as Preya. And what removes this notion of finitude, that is called as Shreya, self-abidance, the path of knowledge. So Bhagwan Shankaracharya ji in this Mundakopanishad, he is saying the student of Paravidya is different, student of Aparavidya is different. Student means the adhikari, the fit recipient who is wanting to remove his finitude. He'll be able to appreciate Upanishad mantras more. And somebody who wants to know more things of the world, he says that's a different path. Both will lead us to different destinations. The subject matter of both these paths are different, and the people who will choose these paths are also different. And this particular Upanishad is going to talk about Paravidya, knowledge of that self which removes finitude and samsara. Then came the topic of Brahma Vidya and Karma cannot go together. It was indicated by saying, in people who have gained this knowledge, sometimes you see that they have gained this knowledge, but then they are engaged in action. So in that case, isn't Brahma Vidya and action getting combined together? So then Bhagwan answered in simple words that whatever is established through pramana, whatever knowledge is established through pramana, it doesn't get negated in time. If we appreciate knowledge in this way, we can hold on to that knowledge and strengthen it more and more. Otherwise, what happens is, instead of strengthening the knowledge, a person might start looking for other solutions. And you might hear also in so many places, oh, hearing this Vedanta, nothing happens. Before hearing Vedanta, did you get angry? You say, yes. After hearing Vedanta, do you get angry? You say, yes. Then what has Vedanta done to you? That is, anger is in the mind. Vedanta will not work on our mind to change anything, to modify anything. For that, I will have to do my sadhanas. I will have to do whatever other values that are listed. Vedanta will only tell that you are the illuminator of this mind. That asanga drashta, which is unaffected by any modifications of this mind, that is this Sakshi, that is this Atma Chaitanya. So he says, whatever is established through pramana is not negated in time. And what is forgetfulness? Forgetfulness is if you pay attention to something and you don't recollect it, that is forgetfulness. If you have something in the mind, if you recollect it and it comes back, that is not forgetfulness. There is no topic we can constantly keep repeating in our head. So that point Bhagwan mentioned. And at the very end, he spoke about how we should study this knowledge. Those are very beautiful words. Atma bhavena shraddha bhakti purassara. Atma bhavena means with the spirit of internalizing this truth, owning up this knowledge and making changes to actually see the result of this knowledge. That is the meaning of Atma bhavena. Shraddha bhakti purassara means coming with lot of faith and eagerness. That this is a goal that I really want. So many Mahatmas are reveling in it, have reveled in it. This is something worth pursuing. And in Upanishad study, as we had seen earlier, the most powerful way, effective way of studying is holding on to every word. Whichever word is used in Upanishad, whichever word comes in Upanishad, trying to get more and more clarity, to go deeper and deeper in every single word, such that the meaning becomes revealed to us. One is we striving to understand the meaning, but Upanishad also has to reveal its meaning to us. So Bhashya is very helpful in that regard, where we can go deeper. Let us chant the first verse together. I hope this recap is helpful to remove the intimidating part of Bhashya. Now, by this time, all of you are so familiar now. What is Sambandha Bhashya? These 4 or 5 topics. That is all. Imagine if we can do for the whole Upanishad, it's very powerful. Om Brahma Devanam Pratamas Sambabhuva. Om Brahma Devanam Pratamas Sambabhuva. Vishwasya Karta Bhuvanasya Gopta. Vishwasya Karta Bhuvanasya Gopta. Vishwasya Karta Bhuvanasya Gopta. Bhuvanasya Gopta. Sabrahma Vidyam Sarva Vidya Pratishtam. Sabrahma Vidyam Sarva Vidya Pratishtam. Atharvaya Jeshtaputraya Praha. Atharvaya Jeshtaputraya Praha. Good. Om Brahma Devanam Pratamaha Sambabhuva. Brahma Ji, who is the foremost amongst Devatas, means this Guru Parampara, the knowledge started with Brahma Ji, who previously received it from Bhagwan Narayana. Narayanam Padmabhuvam Vasishtam. That is one lineage. Another is Sadashiva Samarambham. That is another lineage. So Brahma Ji is the foremost teacher in this lineage of Guru Parampara. The main point here was that whenever there is creative work involved, this knowledge becomes even more important. Brahmaji, before getting involved in any work of this creation, first only he went to Bhagwan Narayan and he said, our doership is going to bind us. Greater the work, greater the doership. He says, please give me that knowledge by which I will not get caught in samsara. Shankaracharya in Dhanyashtakam, he said, blessed are those who act in this way. You remember first verse, Dhanyashtakam? Te dhanyaha bhuvi paramartha nishchita ihaha. Those people are blessed whose iha means actions, is paramartha nishchita. They have resolved to attain the absolute. Keeping that resolve, they are doing their transactions. Not getting caught up anywhere. Not getting stuck anywhere in transactional life. So much so that we miss the main goal. Te dhanyaha bhuvi paramartha nishchita ihaha. That is our Brahmaji. Right in the beginning, he got this knowledge from Bhagwan Narayana. Then there are 4 indicators given of Brahmaji. The first one is who is very ancient and has 4 bhagas. Bhaga means that having which a person's fortune opens up. We say bhagya, right? Inke to bhagya khul gaye. Bhagya means what? Fortune. That fortune is coming from the root word bhaga. So what are these bhagas? The ones that Brahmaji has are dharma. Dharma means righteousness, holding on to values. Second one is knowledge of the self. Brahma Vidya. That is second bhaga. Third bhaga is dispassion. Vairagya. Third bhaga is vairagya. Fourth bhaga is ability to rule over people, called as Aishwarya. Dharma, righteousness. Jnanam, knowledge of the self. Third one is vairagya, dispassion. Fourth one is ability to rule over people. These 4 bhagas are there in Brahmaji in unlimited extent. They're in plenty. 2 bhagas, there are total 6 bhagas. 2 more are not there. 2 are Yasha and Shriya. Yasha means fame and Shriya means lot of resources, prosperity. It is said the one who has all 6 bhaga, that is Bhagwan. That is how the introduction is given. That Brahmaji is the one who has 4 out of these 6 bhagas. And every human being has these 6 bhagas to some extent. To whatever extent it is there, to that extent he becomes more and more powerful. Spiritually powerful. Transactionally also. Means you can do a session on qualities of a good leader. Like how we saw in Ramcharitmanas, Saptanga was there. 7 limbs of a good king. So all this can be looked at from that standpoint, but spiritually speaking, all these qualities are needed to move further. So Brahmaji, first indicator is, has 4 bhagas and is very ancient. Second is, he is first among Devatas. First among Devatas. One, because he was manifest before this creation began. He is the first person who was manifest. And even from guna standpoint, quality standpoint, Brahmaji is the foremost amongst Devatas. When it comes to all values and virtues, he is the foremost. By the way, one technical point we have to note here. The position of Brahmaji is like one position where different people come and sit. It is not there is one Brahma and he stays forever on that position. There are different jivas who have done some special upasanas who will come and occupy that position of Brahmaji. Just like Yama's position is not one person staying forever. Its a position is called as Yama. In that position, different jivas who have done different upasanas, they come and occupy that position. This Yamacharya himself says, I had done this Nachiketa Agni, and with that I got this position. In spite of knowing that this position is limited in giving unlimited happiness, I still chose this. That is why I am here. Oh Nachiketa, you are great because you did not choose this. So the main point is, this jiva has done such a upasana that it has become creator of this universe. Then the third one is that Vishwasya Karta. He was the one who created this universe, which is called as Visarga. Visarga means 5 elements created by Bhagavan, Narayana. After that, giving names and forms to them is called as Visarga. Then the last one is Bhuvanasya Gopta. He is the protector of this universe. That is why he is great. Brahma Devanam Pratamaha Sambabhuva Vishwasya Karta Bhuvanasya Gopta. 4 indicators done. So first indicator went with Brahma word, 4 bhagas. Devanam Pratamaha Sambabhuva, second indicator. Vishwasya Karta, third indicator. Bhuvanasya Gopta is fourth indicator. 4 indicators given for Brahmaji. Saha Brahma Vidyam. That Brahmaji, he gave this teaching of Brahma Vidya. Whom did he give? Skip that next word. Sarva Vidya Pratishtam. You skip that one. Atharvaya Jeshtaputraya Praha. He gave this teaching of Brahma Vidya to his son Atharva, who was the eldest of all his sons. Now, did you hear that Brahmaji's son's name is Atharva anywhere? What do we generally say? Brahmaji's son is either Sanat Kumaras or the 10 rishis who are there, Brahma rishis, mind-born sons of Brahmaji, including Naradji. So Shankaracharya clarifies, not necessary in every cycle of creation, this is the process. He says in one cycle of creation, Brahmaji's son was Atharva. So he taught his son this Brahma Vidya. And in Ishavasya, Shankaracharya said, whatever is taught to son will always be the best. Means father will teach child only that thing which is good for the child. So this Brahma Vidya, Brahmaji taught Atharva. So the word Brahma Vidya is opened in 2 ways. One is knowledge which takes place through Mahavakya about Brahman. That knowledge is called as Brahma Vidya. Knowledge which takes place through Mahavakya about Brahman, that knowledge is Brahma Vidya. And second way it's opened is that knowledge which is spoken by Brahmaji is called as Brahma Vidya. Spoken by Brahmaji, like the words spoken by Bhagavan becomes Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavata Ukta Gita, Bhagavad Gita. Whereas here, that knowledge which is spoken by Brahmaji becomes Brahma Vidya. So both interpretations are there. So all words are clear of this mantra. We didn't see one word still, but other words are good, right? Sa Brahma Vidyam Jeshtaputraya Praha. Now this word, Sarva Vidya Pratishtam, that's a very, very important word. And the most important word of this mantra out of everything else. You see how Shankaracharya ji explains this? You have to be very alert to catch this one. Everybody ready? Sarva Vidya Pratishtam, he says, the simple meaning is, it is the foremost of all knowledge. Pratishta means it is a foundation of Sarva Vidya, all knowledge in this world, whatever knowledge can be there. Brahma Vidya is the foundation of all knowledge. So how do you understand this Sarva Vidya Pratishtam? First explanation he gives is, this Brahma Vidya is responsible for manifesting all worldly knowledge. Just write it down first. We'll understand it later. He says Brahma Vidya is responsible for manifesting all worldly knowledge. So if somebody is studying music, somebody is studying science, somebody is studying philosophy, according to Shankaracharya ji, Brahma Vidya is responsible for manifesting all of that knowledge. Now, how will you understand this? Knowledge of anything takes place through vritti. Unless I have thought of that thing, I don't have clear knowledge of that thing. If I have to play an instrument, it might be the best instrument kept next to me. But unless I have a thought of how to play it, no knowledge can be learnt, nor it can be practiced. This is the first point, that any knowledge of this world will take place through vritti. Now the main point. Brahma Vidya will reveal nature of that Brahman, which illumines every vritti. Brahma Vidya will reveal nature of that Brahman, which is the substratum from which every thought is borrowing existence. Every thought is getting illumined. So in that way, Bhagavan Shankaracharya says, Brahma Vidya is responsible for manifesting all Vidyas. Any vritti jnanam that takes place has to be illumined by consciousness. Therefore, it is Sarva Vidya Pratishtam. Okay, this was the first point. What did he say? Brahma Vidya is responsible for manifesting all knowledge. Then second point, he says, this is also very subtle. Whatever is known through any knowledge, it is known only through Brahma Vidya. This is another point. He says, whatever is known through any Vidya, that is known only through Brahma Vidya. So here, how should we understand this? See, different knowledge, it has different fields that they are wanting to know. Let us take music, for example. Now the Vishaya, the subject matter of music is Swaras. Subject matter of music is different ragas, for simplicity's sake. Now, unless a person looks at that knowledge through the lens of Brahma Vidya, complete fulfillment or the essence of that knowledge is not understood. Complete fulfillment doesn't come unless that knowledge is looked through the lens of Brahma Vidya. I'll give some examples. Hopefully, it will make it clearer. We study Sanskritam, right? Now that Sanskritam knowledge, you can use it to study some poetry. You can use it to study some novel. You can give cricket commentary in Sanskritam. You can also give news in Sanskritam. So many things you can do. This statement says if we do only that with Brahma Vidya, I mean with Sanskritam, it will not bring fulfillment. Neither will we appreciate what is the depth of Sanskritam if we use it only for some material thing. That same knowledge, if we can use it or look at it through the lens of Brahma Vidya, that will give complete fulfillment. It will give some unique depth to what we are doing through that field. So whatever is known through that field, it really becomes known to us only when we look at it from the lens of Brahma Vidya. Minus this, in English they have a phrase that beating around the bush. It feels we are doing so many things, but it is not giving us absolute contentment. I'll share another example. When I heard it, this mantra, I was reminded of Hari Prasad Chaurasia ji. He would do one talk series, interviews, called as Baitak. And there he would invite different musicians. The beauty of that series was they would not speak about music. They would speak on their journey in music. Whoever musician is invited, they will speak about how their journey was in music. And there was one interview by Shivkumar Sharma ji, the santoor player. And he made references to spiritual knowledge, where he said, when I start playing, it is something indescribable. It opens me a window to go there, and some power takes over my playing. Is it that I cannot describe what it is? But when I study spiritual knowledge, it is as though giving words to what I'm feeling. And then he says, इसीलिए भैया मैं बजा के बोल नहीं सकता, बोल के बजा नहीं सकता. Means after I play, don't ask me to speak. Because it was a live interview and the interviewer said, can you play something? He said, this is very sacred. If I play, don't ask me questions later. If you have already started asking me questions, I cannot play. I mean, the main point here is, no matter which Vidya it might be music, it might be Sanskritam, it might be even our work. Unless it is looked at from the standpoint of Brahma Vidya, fulfillment cannot come only through material knowledge. That's why Sarva Vidya Pratishtam means the fulfillment of that knowledge comes through Brahma Vidya. Tatparya, the essence of even worldly knowledge, is understood in true essence when we look at it through the lens of Brahma Vidya. Okay, these 2 points are mentioned in Bhashya. Some other points for why it is Sarva Vidya Pratishtam. It is said, after gaining this knowledge, after gaining the knowledge of the self, understanding it to be our own true nature, nothing else remains to be known. There is no incompleteness in that sadhaka, which is pushing him to learn more things. Means out of incompleteness, he is not wanting to get more objects, know about something. Complete fulfillment comes through this knowledge, which is not guaranteed in any other knowledge. That is why this is called as Sarva Vidya Pratishtam. Whatever has to be known becomes known. There is nothing more to be known. I hope this is not getting too heavy, right? All of you are with me. How will you explain that statement? Nothing remains to be known. Once knowledge takes place, this clarity comes that other than Brahma, everything is an appearance. Other than Brahma, everything is an appearance. there is no jijnasa which should take place in mithya vastu. Once you know that it is illusory snake, there should not be any desire to know the color of that snake, the species that that snake belongs to, because the substratum is understood. In that way, we can take it. Okay, that is the third reason, Sarva Vidya Pratishtam. In Jnaneshwari, there is some beautiful examples given for this. Jnaneshwar Maharaj says, temple, you keep building it. Temple is built when the final kalash is installed. Like that, the journey of Jiva is complete when this Brahma Vidya is gained. There is nothing more remaining after this knowledge. Another example he gives, Ganges water might flow so long from Gaumukh, but once it meets the ocean, its journey is done. Like that, this Jiva might have done so many things, learned so many knowledge, so much of knowledge, but when he gets this Brahma Vidya, he says his Parama Vishrama, absolute Vishrama happens in this knowledge. That is why it is Sarva Vidya Pratishtam. And the last one, the fourth point is, knowledge is that which liberates us. This is the definition of knowledge. Sa Vidya ya vimuktaye. That is knowledge, Sa Vidya ya vimuktaye. That which frees us from bondage. You can apply this for any Vidya. Huh? If I get the knowledge of directions, it will save me from getting lost on my way. It will liberate me from getting lost. If I have the knowledge of cooking, it will liberate me from hunger. Like that, Brahma Vidya liberates a person from Jivatva. The notion of being finite, Brahma Vidya liberates this person. Therefore, it is Sarva Vidya Pratishtam. Okay. All these points will come back again. Huh? So don't think you missed anything. When you read Bhashya, all these points are going to get repeated. So because we went through all these points, the Bhashya should be simple. Let us read the Bhashya. Brahma parivrudah mahan dharma jnana vairagya aishwaryaihi sarvan anyan atishete iti devanam dyotanavatam indradinam pratamah gunaihi pradhanah san pratamah agreva sambabhuva abhivyaktaha samyak swatantrena iti abhiprayah na tatha yatha dharma adharma vashat samsarinah अन्ये जायन्ते योसावसौ अतीन्द्रियः ग्राह्यः इत्यादि स्मृतेः विश्वस्य सर्वस्य जगतः कर्ता उत्पादयिता भुवनस्य उत्पन्नस्य गोप्ता पालयिता इति विशेषणं ब्रह्मणः विद्यास्तुतये. Okay. All of you are able to follow along, right? This is after first mantra. Huh? Same points will come now. Brahma parivrudah. Parivrudah means one who is very ancient. Mahan, one who is very great. Why did he become great? Because he had these four bhagas. One also, if a person has, in great measure, he will become great. Brahmaji has four of them. What are those? Dharma, values, righteousness. Jnana, knowledge of the self. Vairagya, dispassion. And Aishwarya, ability to rule. Sarvan anyan atishete iti. Compared to everybody else, Brahmaji excels in all these four bhagas. Devanam, compared to other devatas, Dyotanavatam Indradinam, compared to Indra and other devatas, he is Pratamaha. How is he Pratamaha? Gunaihi Pradhanaha. When it comes to qualities and values, he is foremost amongst all other devatas. Brahmaji is having great values and qualities. Pradhanaha son Pratamaha Agreva Sambabhuva. Or he is foremost because he was born first. Compared to all other devatas, one who came first is Brahmaji. That's why even in TV serials and all, when they show Brahmaji, how do they show him? Long white beard. Jata will be there. Have you seen that for Indra Bhagwan? Agni Devata? No, Brahmaji means he is Pratamaha, the one who came foremost. Shankaracharya clarifies what is the meaning of the word Sambabhuva. He came foremost, no doubt. He came first, no doubt. But he was not born like any other jiva. Not because of dharma and adharma, he was born. Abhivyaktaha, he was manifest. He was jiva in previous birth. That is why the one who has done Vishesha Karma, Vishesha Upasana, gets that position of Brahmaji. But the way in which, when creation begins, Brahmaji manifests, he says it is not like another jiva. He is Sambhabhuva. He just manifests without going through Garbhavasa. Without going through Garbhavasa, just like everybody else. Samyak Swatantrena iti abhipraya. He is independent and he manifests by himself. That is the meaning of the word Sambhabhuva. Na tatha dharma adharma vashat samsarinaha anye jayante. Just like everybody else is born because of the pressure of dharma and adharma. Brahmaji's manifestation is not because of combination of these two. Yaha asau atindriyaha grahyaha ityadi smrutehe. There are other Upanishad mantras which talk about how this manifestation happens. He is atindriyaha, beyond sense organs, and he is not born because of karma, pressure of karma. Vishwasya karta bhuvanasya gopta. He is the creator of this universe. The visarga part belongs to Brahmaji. Karta means utpadayita. That is why he is the best teacher for this knowledge. He has so much of great qualifications and he is giving the upadesha of this knowledge. Bhuvanasya utpannasya gopta palayita iti visheshanam brahmanaha vidyastutaye. These two indicators which are there, Vishwasya karta, Bhuvanasya gopta. He is the protector of this universe. These adjectives are given to praise Brahma Vidya. Means look at the qualification of the first teacher of this parampara. He was the creator himself. It has come all the way from Brahmaji. Okay, next we'll continue. Sa evam prakhyata mahatvaha Brahma Brahma Vidyam Brahmanaha Paramatmanaha Vidyam Brahma Vidyam Yenaksharam Purusham Veda Satyam Iti Visheshanat परमात्म विषया हि सा ब्रह्मणा वा अग्रजेन उक्ता इति ब्रह्म विद्या. सह, that Brahmaji, evam prakhyata mahatva, that which is very popular, very well known. The greatness and importance of it is very well known. What is that thing? Who is he? He is Brahmaji. Prakhyata mahatva Brahma. Brahma Vidyam. He gave this teaching of Brahma Vidya. What is Brahma Vidya? Brahmanah Paramatmaha Vidyam Brahma Vidyam. That knowledge of Brahman which takes place through Mahavakya. That knowledge is called as Brahma Vidya. Yena Aksharam Purusham Veda Satyam. That by which this Akshara Paramatma, the absolute truth, is known. That knowledge is called as Brahma Vidya. This is the first meaning. Iti Visheshanat Paramatma Vidya Paramatma Vishaya Hisa. By saying it is Brahma Vidya, what they are indicating is this knowledge is of Paramartha, the absolute truth. Brahmanaha va agrajena ukta iti Brahma Vidya. Or the second meaning is that teaching which is taught by Brahmaji. Brahmana agrajena ukta iti Brahma Vidya. Just like Bhagavata ukta iti Bhagavad Gita, Brahmana ukta iti Brahma Vidya. That which is spoken by Brahmaji, that is this second meaning. Very simple, right? All these points you have seen before. It is just coming back now. Now the most beautiful word, Sarva Vidya Pratishtam. You see how Shankaracharya explains it. Tam Sarva Vidya Pratishtam. Sarva Vidya Abhivyakti Hetutvat. Sarva Vidya Ashrayam Ityarthah. Sarva Vidya Vedyam Va Vastu Anaya Eva Vijñāyate Iti Yena Ashrutam Shrutam Bhavati Amatam Matam Avijñātam Vijñātam Iti Shrutehe Sarva Vidya Pratishtham Iti Cha Stauti Vidyam Atharvaya Jeshtaputraya Praha Jeshtaschasau Putrascha Anekeshu Brahmanah Srishti Prakare Anyatamasya Srishti Prakarasya Pramukhe Purvam Athava Srishtah Iti Jeshtah Tasmai Jeshtaputraya Praha Uktavan. Tam Sarva Vidya Pratishtam. The first explanation of this word, Sarva Vidya Pratishtam, is Sarva Vidya Abhivyakti Hetutvat. That which is responsible for manifesting all knowledge. Abhivyakti means manifesting, Hetu means responsible. It is because of Brahma Vidya alone, all knowledge comes into manifestation. Sarva Vidya Ashrayam Ityartaha, it is a substratum of all Vidya. So this is the first reason. How did we understand this? Whatever knowledge takes place about any topic, it has to take place as a thought, vritti. Brahma Vidya will reveal nature of that Brahman which illumines every vritti. So in that way, whatever knowledge is manifesting, it is manifesting because of Brahma. And Brahma Vidya is that which will lead us to knowledge of Brahma. That is why it is said, all knowledge manifests from Brahma Vidya. Otherwise, this point very difficult to understand. Brahma Vidya teaches about nature of Brahman. And Sarva Vidya is talking about physics, chemistry, math, and so on. So how do you say physics, chemistry emerge from Brahma Vidya? So in between we have to add knowledge of physics, chemistry, math takes place through a thought. Every thought, no thought has independent existence. It borrows existence from consciousness, gets illumined by consciousness. And Brahma Vidya is going to reveal nature of that consciousness. Brahman is the ashraya, and Brahma Vidya reveals nature of that Brahman. Therefore, Brahma Vidya is the reason for manifesting all knowledge. Abhivyakti hetu of Sarva Vidya. Second reason. What was the second reason we had seen? Whatever is known through any knowledge becomes known only through Brahma Vidya. You see how Shankaracharya writes it? Sarva Vidya Vedyam Va. Or the second interpretation is whatever is known through any knowledge. Sarva Vidya Vedyam Vastu. Whatever Vastu is known through any knowledge. Anaya Eva Vijnayate. It is known through Brahma Vidya only. Whatever is known through, whatever Vishaya, object is known through any knowledge, that is really speaking known through Brahma Vidya. So how did we understand it? The absolute fulfillment in that knowledge, the tatparya, the essence of that knowledge, is understood only when we look at it through the lens of Brahma Vidya. Either it is Sanskritam or it is music. If we look at it independently and completely are oblivious of Brahma Vidya, is it just by that knowledge, it cannot bring fulfillment. The true depth of that knowledge cannot be understood only by remaining at that level. So Brahma Vidya will be Sarva Vidya Pratishtam. That example we should remember, Sanskritam or the musician's words. That I'm playing music, but until I got this Brahma Vidya, knowledge of self, spiritual knowledge, true depth of this music was not appreciated. So that is this Sarva Vidya Pratishtam, second reason. Third one he says, Yena ashrutam shrutam bhavati amatam matam avidnyatam vidnyatam iti shrutehe. Once this knowledge is gained, whatever is unheard of becomes heard of. Whatever is not understood becomes understood. Whatever is not known becomes known. Means nothing else remains to be known. Nothing else remains to be known because Brahman is the main upadana karanam, material cause of everything in this universe. You know the material cause, we don't have to know the effects separately. If I know gold, I don't need to know ornament, I don't need to know different necklace, names and forms separately. You bring any ornament, what will be the knowledge? It is gold only. Like that, any name and form of this universe, once a person has understood, the material cause is consciousness. There is nothing in this universe which becomes unknown to him. Now, this doesn't mean he suddenly gets knowledge of everything. Means he doesn't suddenly get knowledge of physics, math, chemistry. Suddenly doesn't start singing. All of that is which knowledge? Vritti jnanam. You need a thought to gain that knowledge. And the knowledge he has gained is of the illuminator of the thought. So Brahmavid doesn't become Sarvavid in that way. Doesn't become all-knowing suddenly, that all separate or particular knowledge comes to him. This happens sometimes. They literally take the meaning of the word, knower of the self knows everything. One Mahatma Ji said, people have so many questions about their home architecture. Should I do this or should I do that? They will come and ask me, "Hmm, Mahatma Ji, should I do this or should I do that?" He said, they have literally taken this word that Brahmavit becomes Sarvavit. He said, what do I know about architecture? Specific knowledge will not take place. If I need to know about architecture, either I have to do Upasana. That is also one path. Or I have to go and study in a school. Both they have done. Vastu Shastra and all came through Upasana only. They did not go to a school and learn about Vastu. Shilpa Shastra came through Upasana. So that is a separate field. But no matter what things are created, it is coming as a thought. The one who is illumining that thought is his consciousness. And that thing which is there is an appearance. So in that way, having known this self, nothing else remains to be known. Out of incompleteness, he doesn't go to know anything. Okay, third reason we had seen. And fourth one was an additional one, that Brahma Vidya removes Jivatva. Finitude is removed. That is why it is Sarva Vidya Pratishtam. Sarva Vidya Pratishtam iti cha stauti Vidyam. By saying that it is Sarva Vidya Pratishtam, Brahma Vidya is praised. Atharvaya Jeshtaputraya Praha. Brahmaji taught this to Atharva, his eldest son. He was eldest also and he was son also. Jeshtasya so Putrascha. Anekeshu, out of many sons that he had, Atharva was the eldest one. Now, if you get this doubt, how come Atharva became Brahmaji's son? Shankaracharya says, Srushti Prakareshu Anyatamasya, Srushti Prakarasya. In another cycle of creation, this is how the lineage was. So it is not necessary that whatever we read in one place, that alone is continued in every cycle of creation. Something I remembered. This previous line is there, right? Yena ashrutam shrutam bhavati amatam matam. Means whatever is unheard of becomes heard of. Whatever is not known becomes known. If you don't study it with guidance and traditional meaning, it's a very confusing statement. I remember in one place, I think which chapter was going on? Chandogya 6th chapter only. After the discourse was done, one person came up. He said, Swamiji, right now, whatever I remember, whatever I'm 75 right now, whatever thoughts are coming, they are so bothering. Now, if I study this, whatever is unknown will become known to me. Whatever is unheard of will become heard of. What will happen to my mind? He was very disturbed after hearing this. So there we should again remember, it is not vritti jnanam. Vritti jnanam will take place only when I cultivate that thought through a valid means of knowledge. What is important is knowledge of that self which is illumining every vritti in that way. Atharvaya Jeshtaputraya Praha, and then Srushti Prakarasya Pramukhe. Pramukhe means at the beginning of creation. Brahmaji gave this teaching to his son Atharva. Purvam Atharva Srushtaha iti Jeshtaha Tasmai Jeshtaputraya Praha Uktavan. He gave this teaching to his eldest son Atharva. Okay. We saw all the words, but the most important topic we saw today was Sarva Vidya Pratishtam. You have to reflect on that word. More we will see in the next session. Those of you who don't have Bhashya, you can reach out to our Ramji. And in our bookstore, if you want to order more copies, we can do that. There is one question here. Okay. Some questions I'll directly answer, okay, to that person. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.